And we are back for episode 8 of Critical Condition. Today, as promised, we will be going through the faction packs, but just for the factions we really play. As said before, we're not, tournament players. Wouldn't even necessarily call any of us good 40k players. We just love the game and mainly just kind of stuck with one faction. Although Brad did play a little bit of Tau this edition, and me and you've kind of been slightly discussing the possibility of both starting secondary factions. Well, you've been talking about getting rid of your Tau and starting another faction, right?
Yeah, I've been not wholly satisfied with the Tau, and I am feeling that this edition they're going to continue not to um, bring that satisfaction of gameplay with seeing how they have still gotten almost no new content from
Yeah,
the faction focuses and all that. So I'm thinking that it's time to change up to another either Xenos or maybe go for Imperium faction.
you were talking about Death Guard for a second too.
Yes, and and also go towards the Chaos faction. I do like Death Guard. So
Well, I mean, it's something we can definitely talk about in future episodes. Really do I've been really thinking about picking up a second faction. I used to play like 5 or 6 different factions in the older editions, but when um, eventually I narrowed it down to just Chaos Demons and Tyranids, and then eventually I sold my Tyranids or my demons, and now I just play Tyranids. But I've been the Space Marines have been eyeing me because I'd love to remake my Blood Ravens that I sold off years ago. Necrons are eyeing me because I've always loved they're mechanically I've always liked them, and I really do like their new lore. Um, a lot of people talk about how they've explained too much, but I really do like the idea that they're almost like the Tomb Kings in the sense that they're not necessarily evil. They're just trying to keep their own empire alive. Um, but yeah, it's something we can talk about in the future.
I mean,
So yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, if I was going to come back to play, obviously I'd come back as Space Marine, Space Wolves. If I was going to take a secondary faction for me, just aesthetically, it's always been Drukhari,
Yeah,
Actual
Drakari's
Dark Eldar.
not in a great spot right now. They had like half of their data slates killed in 10th edition,
I don't win
and
matches anyways. That's fine.
yeah, I think one of the biggest problems the Drukari players have right now is that there's just not a lot of depth into their codex right now, and I know that Brad's like tipped his toe occasionally into Drukari, but mainly just because the Eldari are there.
yeah, the Yanari, since my main faction is Eldar, I always try to dip my toe into Yanari, but what kind of drew me to Eldar was Yanari faction, but GW doesn't like Yanari. They don't like anything that doesn't have Space Marine colors.
Yeah,
So yeah,
it definitely is a problem. I mean, again, I'm going to try desperately not to go down my tangent of we need to kill half the factions of the game. Anyway, um, so Skull, what have you been up to this past week?
Oh, I mostly trying to read the faction pack information. Um, I have definitely still been putting work into my YouTube, and soon to apparently starting some summer work at a video game store.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, we were talking about that a little bit offline, and I think that being able to give you a career opportunity in something that you really love, uh, it's great. I mean, a lot of us get to choose whether to make a lot of money or a little money, but doing something we absolutely love. What about you, Brad? What have you been up to?
well, I have been doing a lot of school. I've been doing a lot of school recently. I also recently launched my website for my business. So that's going okay. And I also have been messing with some Eldar pirate models. I've been putting together some of the what are they called? The oh no, oh no, the flying
Corsairs?
pirate Eldar, the Corsairs. Yeah, some of the Corsairs. But they are but the flying ones specifically. I've been putting those together recently, and they are
Nice,
pretty
nice.
nice models. Not too many mold lines, of course. I have been with most recent
Oh,
GW
you
there's been
just
like
attract the internet again. You said that GW made decent kits. Uh-oh. You know,
oh
they're coming for you.
yeah
All the kits are covered in mold lines and they're horrible to look at. They
yeah I don't know what they got, but that's not what I experienced. So uh
I mean, I people have said that there's been a few kits that GW's released that had really horrible mold lines, and I can believe it. I mean, mold slips happen, and I think that's more of a quality control issue than it is the actual kit itself as a problem.
mhm.
Um, Anything
I've been putting
else?
together the Sky Weavers, and that's
Nice.
basically it. That's all I've been doing, reading this stuff, getting a little interested to see what they're gonna do tomorrow because we are recording this on the 16th,
Yeah.
and tomorrow the 17th is where they're doing their big points review. I kind of hate this little tease they've been doing with us. I don't know how you feel about that, Chandler, but
Yeah,
I feel
not
like they should
care.
have done this all together.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing: if they had done it all together, they would have just all done it on the 20th. You know, and the honest answer is I don't really care. Um, it'll we'll either love it or we'll hate it. I have a feeling it's going to be a very mixed bag because it's the new edition. GW is going to try to make some huge changes. Um, there's there's no rule change that I feel that absolutely makes something completely busted powerful in our play group. Um, I will say that it makes certain units very bad, or at least much worse than they were. And the one that immediately comes into my mind is um, Banshees in Von Rhinesleepers, and basically any unit that has fights first natively on them. So I don't honestly know what they're gonna do, and ultimately I guess it really doesn't matter all that much, right? Um, because they're gonna do what they're gonna do.
So
You
we'll
know.
wait and find out.
Yep. So just trying to accept things as they are. As far as me, I last week I finished reading the Epic rules and getting all that sorted through for us to play Epic Warpath. Eventually, we're going to be doing an episode on that, or at least an episode on a few Epic games altogether. Just like you two, I took time to review the faction pack for the Tyranids and did a little bit of working on my Red Terror model. Actually, tried making my own oil wash for the terrain. I'm trying to do this stone tablet, like this white stone tablet for the base he's sitting on. Um, and right now it's drying, and the oil wash is probably going to take 24 hours to fully dry. I'm hoping I'll wake up tomorrow and it'll look really good. Because right now it looks fine. It just needs to dry. Um, yeah. As far as improvements to the show, guys, we don't. I don't really have anything to really notate other than we're continuing to try to learn how to give you guys some visual interest on the screen. One thing I did notice that somebody does that I thought we might try is somebody will record them playing video games like Space Marine 2, or they'll, within theme of whatever it is the content is, and they'll just play that in the background. Um, and whatever that game was you guys mentioned about, like, oh, we should just play this game
Subway
in the
Surfers.
yeah. I found out what that was, and I've seen that before. So
Oh,
I have actually watched podcasts that play that in the background. I just never knew what
that
it was.
that's Subway Server,
Yeah.
and no, we shouldn't do that
We shouldn't do the
because it's
Space Marine
more of
thing.
a it's well, what we should do is more maybe Space Marine, sure.
Yeah, yeah,
I
okay.
don't think we should do Subway Surfer because it's more of a
No, no,
meme.
no. That's more of a meme that I would never want to actually do that. I was just saying that I actually knew what it was when you guys were talking about it. I had no idea what you're
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about. But I
You
It'll
just didn't know the name.
increase our kid audience.
I don't want to do that.
Well, that's true.
I'm a I no, no, I'm not going to get into that. Something happened in the UK recently. We're not going to talk about that though. Okay. So, no previous episode comments. But we do have a sponsorship, right, Skull?
Of course we do. As I stated the last time, I will continue to scour for any sponsorships that we can get, even from the most unlikely sources. So, are you tired of ordinary military service? Do you crave adventure, brotherhood, questionable hygiene, and the distinct possibility of being lost in the warp for 10,000 years? Then the 13th Company wants you. That's right, citizen. The Imperium's most aggressively bearded fighting force is now recruiting warriors brave enough to say, I don't need reliable supply lines. I don't need clear orders. I don't need a retirement plan, and I definitely don't need a dentist. Join the 13th Company and enjoy incredible benefits, including a free wolf pelt, a second free wolf pelt, a third wolf pelt, pending availability, all the Forensian ale you can steal, and the chance to hunt traitors across reality itself while slowly becoming less employable in polite imperial society. Worried about corruption? Don't be. The 13th Company has spent millennia in the Eye of Terror and remains completely, totally, absolutely loyal. Mostly. Probably. Look, we still hate Magnus, and that's what matters. Applicants must be able to lift a chain axe, growl convincingly, ignore demonic whispers, and survive being called pup by someone who has not filed a mission report since the Horus Heresy. The 13th Company, we don't retreat, we don't surrender, we don't update our location. Report today to your nearest rune priest, wolf priest, or suspiciously large man howling at the moon. The 13th Company wants you, and if you don't answer the call, don't worry. We'll find you. This message was approved by absolutely no one in the administratum.
I do love how me and Skull have been best friends for years, and he loves the Space Wolves and I love the Thousand Suns. So we're like polarly opposed to each other. Um, and Magnus did nothing wrong. And in a real fight, Russ would have had his entire legion wiped out. Um, anyway, thank you for that sponsor, Skull.
Of course.
Okay, so let's start talking about some space pointy elves, pointy ears. Nobody likes them. They're all dying slowly, just not fast enough for anyone to really enjoy it. So, Brad, tell us about your beloved, totally not space elves.
We got some stuff and some things, you know. So let's talk about the new ones. So if we could just focus on the very first one we see here, the armored war host. Um, this is probably the only one of the 1 DP detachments. We got we got four new 1 DP detachments. And armored war host is probably the only one that I would use the most from the mini collection that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Only because I don't have a lot of clowns. I don't have a lot of rangers. I have one ranger, and their detachment's kind of meh. And the other detachments are just about clowns, mostly. Yeah, the other two are just about clowns. So, Armored Warhost, basically what it does, it gives all my vehicles assault, which they could do already by spending one of the maneuver points or battle focus points. But right now, this gives it to them for free, which saves me a point, which is pretty good. Allows them to be very maneuverable, and also this is pretty good with the Eldritch Raiders because of the new vehicle, the Starfang,
So that gives
which you get.
that gives me a small comment here.
Yeah,
If this detachment was in pretty much any other codex, this would be pretty good. I mean, if all of my monsters suddenly got assault for the ranged weapons, that would be really good. But you make a good point because I was kind of thinking maybe this should be a 2 point detachment, but it's a 1 point, right? Am I remembering the points right? How many points is this guy? Armored Warhost is 1 DP. Okay. So this sounds like this would be a 2 point attachment, but then you made a really good point, which is um, you already can do this, right?
yeah, yep. By spending one battle focus point, I can give my vehicle that's advancing assault on their weapons.
Okay. Now, outside of I don't want to say the power level, but the usefulness that you have it, what do you think of it? What's the flavor? Is it flavorful? Is it not flavorful? For Eldari, what do you think about that?
I would say it has some flavor to it. See, I have not really like from what I'm seeing here, it makes sense because if we had a Bone Singer or Bone Singer,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that's what their names are.
Yep, Bone Singers. Yep.
Um, it would make sense because they were psychers that are basically the ones that make the vehicles that the Eldar drive in. So the very first enhancement we see here,
Mm-hmm.
which heals my vehicles when they're within 3 inches of a psyker, is pretty good. It also gives my my psychers also get loan op when they're within 3 inches of the vehicle as well,
They
which
basically
is
become
pretty
a
good.
tech marine in a lot of ways, right?
Yep. Which as a faction that will usually have a couple of psychers in the army, that is a pretty good enhancement. So I think all of the enhancements and just the rules are pretty good. Because most of the time the people that are driving the Eldar vehicles are very skilled because of how the Eldar
Mhm.
military works. Um, so I think this is very favorable in that sense. Uh, Now I cannot speak if we want to go to another detachments.
Okay.
I
The
will be
faithful
honest with everyone.
performance.
Yeah, I will be honest with everyone. I have not used the clowns enough in our games to give a full
You
point of
tried
view.
to in some of our early games, but they ended up just dying, explosively.
You shame the uniqueness of Circus Soleil.
Yeah, I do a bad job of sitting in the clowns, as some people would talk about. But um, this right here is from the from this rule is from the book.
Okay. So
Um,
this is a remaster of a previous attachment. It's in the codex.
yes, if I remember correctly,
Now, what do you
this
think
is one of the
about?
ones that I never touched
Mhm.
because I just didn't have enough clowns to really mess with it, and it was all about the clowns.
This is something I've
Um,
noticed that's new for the detachments. We're seeing a lot of this tagging things. Um, I think this could be a very interesting mechanic where certain detachments can't be taken with each other. Did you see any other detachments in your lineup that has this right here?
yes, if we go past the path of the outcast and go to Twilight Flickers, um, this one has the
Acrobatic
acrobatic
as well. Okay, so
right
they're
there.
making
So
use of it. That's awesome. Okay, so back
yeah,
to faithful performance.
yeah. So faithful performance. This one's very good. Uh, I would be tempted to buy more clowns for this one
Hmm.
because first of all, it gives the Harlequins unit to be able to make charge moves that go through enemy models. In this edition, that's super good. Just allowed me to just go right through you and do like your back line with my clowns. Pretty good.
Especially if they're
Uh,
like 3 inches away from something, but there's like another unit that's like 7 or 8 inches behind them, and you roll that
yeah,
8, and then suddenly you just walk right through them because you don't have to declare them as a target.
yep. And if you don't, I don't know if you know this, but clowns, the Harlequins, they, specifically the troop, don't. They have flicker belts, which allows them to ignore vertical distances when moving.
Okay.
Unless they change it, this is pretty good. And then if we go to like the 2 enhancements are pretty good because the troop master is going to be in the big blob of
Rerolling charges is always good.
rerolling charges. The Shadow Seer, which is the Psyker clown. You haven't seen him. I don't have one of the Shadow Seers. He's the only person one of the heroes that the Harlequins have that I don't have.
So I see this
Uh,
detachment being something that gives you an incentive to start filling in your Eldari roster that you don't have.
yeah.
Okay.
So
You
I'm
think
very
this
interested
is
in this one.
you think this is something so you are interested, this is something you
I
think you're going to
am
invest in a little bit of time into?
a little bit of clowns. I think we'll see. We'll see. The Harlequins might show up in a future 11th edition game.
Oh, you heard it
I
But I'm
here.
think
more
the
focused. Oh, sorry.
sorry, I was
Go
gonna
ahead, sir.
say regarding the Shadow Seer, I think the mix with the Shadow Seer getting Infiltrator and using the stratagem for exit the stage, being able to reposition still in somewhat close enough range to your opponent is really going to have to make someone think on their toes when you're going up against them.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, oh, yeah, for sure. Definitely will. It's definitely something that makes the Eldar kind of annoying to deal with at times because there's the maneuverability of some of
Just
their
kind of
units. Kind of.
annoying.
We can skip Path of the Outcast. I don't care about this attachment, so we're gonna skip it.
Oh yeah, it's
Why
all
not? Go for it.
rangers. They get +6 detection range.
Yeah,
Um, enemy units have. Yeah, so I mean, I kind of not knowing anything about this really. This looks like all really does is give your rangers and shroud runners an extra 6 inches to target hidden units, right?
yeah,
And I'm not sure if those are the big shooters or the big offensive pieces that really care whether or not they have that. For one detachment point, I guess I could see it. If you got an extra point, you got some rangers in your army. Why not? But yeah. So Twilight flickers. Oh, it says unique acrobatic up here. I didn't notice that. Okay.
yeah. So this is the last one DP, one new DP
Mm-hmm.
detachment. This is another Harley Quinn's detachment. I actually prefer the first one we just looked at than this one because this one is all about well, your units have stealth. So
Yeah.
I don't I forget that wouldn't stack on top of cover.
No, it doesn't. Because stealth just gives
So
you cover now.
yeah, so uh just giving me cover wherever I'm at, which is, good in a way. But
And
being able to charge through enemies is good.
one cool thing first is that this is an upgrade, which means it can be
Yes.
attached to a unit. The
That is
downside is it gives them probably one of the lesser special rules that we care about in this edition.
yeah, so like giving them fight first would have been good, very good, like super duper good in 10th edition.
Yeah.
But in 11th edition, with how fight first works, it's not that crazy, which is fine.
Well, the only time it
Um,
really matters is if there's more than one unit in combat, and usually, at least in our games, if there's more than one unit in combat, usually one of the combats decisively matters over the others.
yeah, yeah, and it could just be how we play the game, not playing it. We don't play the game a bunch. We jump around so many different miniature games that
Mm-hmm,
we
mm-hmm.
don't have a lot of data to compare this stuff to. But we played enough games over the years that where we have had those situations come up every so often.
And what do you
Um,
feel about the scouts thing here? Now remember
so
that
the
the
scout,
Harlequins can go on a transport and give the transport scouts.
eh, eh. Scout 6. We don't. So the thing is, we don't know how many points this is. This
Yep.
is an enhancement. So this has to go on a leader, but I feel like there's better enhancements that I would
Uh,
want to put on a Troop Master Shadow Seer.
it's not jimmying your jams.
No, nah. Even the, I mean, I can look at the stratagems here, but like we're not trying to like talk about the stratagems too much. But like, I think the first one's a lot better, and then like the very next,
Serpent's
um,
Brood
this is another Harley Quinn's detachment. We have seen 3 clown detachments so far. This detachment
is 2
is
CP as well, or
2
2 TP as well.
DPB. So I could bring this plus another one of the other Harley Quinn detachments, make
Mm-hmm.
it go all in on the Harley Quinns. Um, this is the Grotmist detachment. I don't know what they changed because like I said, I never really played a lot of the
It may not be a
like
change. All of the Grotsmiths and the free detachments that were given outside of the Codex are in our faction packets. Like for
okay,
example,
so
my Subterranean Assault doesn't have any new rules in it that I could tell.
yeah, so that means we don't need to worry about this. This is something that I don't really care too much. I guess we could talk about the dispositions. We have not talked about the dispositions
Mm-hmm.
whatsoever.
Yeah, we did.
That's
We
one of the
did.
things.
We did not mention the disposition. Cerberus Brood is a purge the foe. So if you want to kill stuff with
Yeah.
the Harlequins, this is definitely probably one of your better detachments to
Yep.
do it.
So you want to talk about the dispositions? Do you know all the ins and outs of like what makes what each one disciplines, or no?
Well, I know their generalities. Like Purge the Foe is about killing things.
Yep.
Taking Hold is about holding objectives in areas of the table. Um, my understanding is Disruption is like doing lots of I don't say
Actions.
random things, actions. Priority Assets is kind of like a weird combination of like all the other ones. And then Reconnaissance is about basically getting out there and controlling table quarters and stuff like that.
Yeah, being very fast.
Yep, yep,
So purge the foe on Serpent's Brood makes sense.
yep.
The Harlequins are usually very hyper aggressive, so
And despite what a lot of people say, I really don't think that anyone knows what of these which of these actual force dispositions are going to be good and which ones are going to be bad. It seems like every other week somebody's saying that this one's broken or that one's broken, or this is going to be completely busted, or this one's useless. And I see some of the people basically from almost week to week changing which one they think is going to be completely broken and will destroy the game. So I don't. It's I'm always in the wait and see crowd. As much as people may not like that.
yeah. I mean, like people are saying Purge the Foe is going to be the best one because of
Mm.
just how easy it is compared to the other ones. I think it's more of just seeing how the games go before we say just based off vibes of which one is actually good.
And I'd like to think that GW, if it suddenly turn out that Purge the Foe is winning 70% of the games, that they will make some adjustments. I hope
Yeah.
so for
Yep.
Tyranids, because right now we only have one detachment that's Purge the Foe.
That is very true. Let's see here. I don't. So if you just want to talk about Eldritch Raiders,
Okay.
this is a 2DP detachment.
Mm-hmm.
This is the pirate one. I am very
Arr.
excited for this one. I have a lot of pirates. I've been buying a lot of pirates recently,
Yep.
and I would definitely bring Eldritch Raiders plus Armored War Hosts. And Eldritch Raiders is a disruption disposition, whereas Armored War Host is reconnaissance. And I can honestly see either way, like either direction on which way I want to take the army in for
Mm-hmm.
the pirates. I would probably lean more towards the disruption piece, just because I think trying to do stuff in table quarters and stuff like that sounds kind of a lot of thinking. But I think doing the disruption piece would be a lot more interesting with the raiders. But I love the all the enhancements you can give your different units.
Mm-hmm.
Uriel is a very cool looking model. He has a Yu-Gi-Oh dual wrist thing.
So it sounds like out of all of them, this is the one you're probably most excited to give a try to.
Yeah, this is not like a new one,
Okay.
but this is one I have not had a chance to try. But I think everything else in the book in this little sheet here we don't need to get too much into because there's always stuff people have seen. There's a
Okay.
second pirate detachment called the Corsair Coterie.
Yep, I
It
just
is
saw that.
not it's not terrible. The detachment rule is super good. Because it's basically anytime you end a movement, fall back or charge on an objective I own, you just take on a 2+, you take D3 mortal wounds. Okay, easy peasy. So not bad. Have a chance to just kill a warrior just out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems
Um,
like it could be very interesting. Just you're kind of playing with like the trap
yeah,
aesthetic of like pirate slash corsairs.
and this one, the Corsair Coterie, this one is priority assets. So this one's more about a mixture of things.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it'll be pretty interesting to see
Okay.
how these play. We have
Do you see any?
not re-
Go ahead.
we have not really seen too much on how everything plays, or we have not really done too much digging into
Yeah,
a lot of that
we're not going to know really how things work until Saturday,
tomorrow.
really.
Tomorrow,
Well, even then, we're still going to have a lot of. There's still question marks.
I mean, I would at least say though, with these faction packs, when you're looking at the detachment types, something that I definitely see now that compared to what I saw back in 5th, 6th edition is the detachments really give you an idea of a play style. If you're looking over the options that they give you for the detachment rules, the enhancements, the specific stratagems that they give you for each of these detachments, it really helps give, especially someone just coming into this, a perspective of how you should be playing the characters a bit more than I remember back just having to put an army together of models I thought were cool and then going, okay, I'm not really playing these correctly and they're just getting crushed on the battlefield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it does kind of guide people, and for better or worse, this is kind of what I've described as the board gamification of the miniature game for Warhammer 40K.
Yeah, I can see that.
What and I know we don't want to go through this scene by scene, but what are your overall thoughts of Uriel? Do you have him yet?
well, I have them, and I have Euro, and I also have Karseth. I have
Mm-hmm.
both of the new pirate characters. They're very cool. I'm trying to find some time to put the models together and put them with some pirates.
Okay.
So my the first thing to point out with Karseth, or sorry, not Karseth, Uriel, he gives the unit that he's leading sustained hits 1.
Mm-hmm.
Super good. He also adds 1 to their hit roll, so they automatically ignore your any cover bonus that you get.
Effectively, yeah.
Yep. After both, and it also gives me the ability to redeploy after redeploy. So super cool there. So if I'm being too aggressive and I'm not going first because in 11th edition they didn't do uh the winner gets to decide who goes first.
I am.
Uh, we are
Well,
still doing whoever wins has to go first.
yeah.
And also, Karseth with the new rules of how setup works or how deep strike works in this game
Mm-hmm.
is super good because you cannot be deployed within 12 of her.
It's an extra 4 inches that you can't be nearby, and for a lot of things, I mean, one that basically means you can't charge her that round. You can't charge her.
Yep.
Well, keep in mind though, it's of that model, not of the unit. So
Yep.
that's something to keep in mind. But I mean, if it's played well, you basically can't charge her. Um, she's a leader, so she leads Corsair Void Reavers and Corsair Void Squads, which I assume are your two troops, your two normal squads.
Yeah.
Now I do see Vipers in here. Did they give Vipers an update at all?
They give them a new model.
Okay. Did that change the rules at all that you know of?
1 second. I have not checked I have not looked at the Viper too much, but I have the rule book right here. I just flipped to the section.
I mean, I'm
One
looking over their
second.
data slate right here on the
Yep.
screen, and I don't really see
And
anything
you're
that
shooting
feels
nothing
very,
new.
yeah, nothing that feels out of the ordinary for the Viper. Starfangs are
Everything
new
the same,
though.
just a new model. The
Yeah.
Starfang is the Viper kit is now either a Starfang or a Viper.
Okay.
So the Starfang is the pirate Viper, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Let me check something real fast. Okay, so they both can come in groups of 1 to 2. So I have two Starfangs now. So I'm gonna bring a group of 2 of them, which is pretty fun.
Cool.
And they also have Scout 7, and their range attacks are pretty long range. So,
And the
but
Starfangs aren't
Starfangs are
transports though.
they're not transports. No,
So
they're Vipers.
they almost feel like they're like almost like Land Raider or not Land Raiders, but land speeders, where they're gonna jump in and out. They're gonna get some shots off. They're gonna do their best to stay out
Yep.
of line of sight.
Yep.
But then they're gonna harass you. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right?
Oh yeah, and they are a mobile piece of cover, basically,
Yeah.
because they give units within 36 inches of them invisible. They're stealth.
And you get your Sky Weavers, Reavers,
Yeah.
which are basically looks like their jumps versions of
Mhm.
Eldar.
Yep.
Then we
And that's
got
it.
your rules updates. Anything in these updates that you felt were super impactful?
No,
Okay.
everything is what happened last time. We do not need to get into it too much.
Okay.
Nothing new.
Let's see if we got anything else here.
This is legend stuff.
Webway gate. Why don't you have a webway gate? You need a webway gate.
It's a legends.
Is it legends? That doesn't mean anything to us.
This is all legends.
Karandras lives. He's right here. You just put him on a
No,
table.
this is legends.
I don't care. He's got
They
rules.
shot him.
They did not see. This is the thing that I wish more 40K players would acknowledge, that there's rules for them. There's points for them. He's right here. Play him. You know.
The app does not agree with that.
They got rid of Night Spear. Oh, that is. I remember when she came out. They even get rid of their pictures too.
Yeah,
He's
because
playing the old man jump.
they don't exist anymore in their eyes.
That's just so sad, to see all these models go away. And I get why they do it. I remember when the Vampire Raider came out too.
I would love to see what this thing looks like.
Yeah, it's so sad to see all this. Oh, there's your Bone Singer. They used to have an actual model for it. I got rid of that.
You know why the Vampire Raider got killed? Because it's a flyer.
Yeah.
I
don't like
skipped over
flyers.
my legends section so I didn't cry.
Yeah, it feels that way, doesn't it? I wonder if one of the Wraith Walkers in here, or the not Wraith Lord, the Seer Wraith Seer.
Yeah, it's on the bottom.
Cobras are big if I remember. Oh, they're the small ones. Never mind. The Lynx is the big one, I think. Oh yay! Realizing how old I am, just seeing all these models and how cool.
I mean,
they
I
were.
don't even think I have this many models in Legends.
Scathrak and Wraith Knight. Oh, that's so sad. I'd love those models. Shadow Specters. Oh, these were so cool models when they were out at Forge World. I like the little wispiness of them. Such a cool model. we got to at least look at my because I used to have one of these Spirit Seers or the Wraith Seers. I loved these things. Um, so back when I played Eldar, um, a Wraith Seer was basically a Wraith Lord with psychic powers, and she had a her Ghost Spear, which was actually really good in close combat. But then she had like her bright lance and her shoulder weapons and everything. But she could also cast psychic powers. And this was back when GW actually had psychic abilities in the game, and you could actually cast psychic powers. So you'd give her like one of the I can't remember what they're called, but the different spell disciplines, and then she could cast magic missiles and buff things and make things invisible and stuff. And visible invisibility was a toxic spell.
Yes, rest in peace, scrawny mech bot.
Oh, but she was so cool. I love the race here. Anyways,
That's
anything else you gotta ruminate on, Brad?
I am. Ex- well, hold up. I almost said excited. I am not excited for tomorrow with the points update because based on what we saw like later
Oh, we
earlier
should talk about
this
that in a
week.
minute, shouldn't we?
But like it seems like Eldar are about to get slapped because everything that list shows is everything that the Eldar do. So
Oh, you're
either
not the
A, I'm
only
about to
one.
play an AOS army in 40k where I bring like 20 models and you bring like everyone else brings like 60 guys because of my army is so expensive, or it's not going to be that bad.
You're not the only one though. You're gonna be like, I have 20 miles, and I'm gonna be like, I have 21. You know, so
Oh,
it's gonna be it's gonna be pretty bad. I'm trying to find the it could be pretty bad. I don't want to say it is going to be pretty bad, but
All right,
um
let me call the exterminators while Chandler decides to talk on his faction pack.
yeah. Well, maybe we'll talk about the end of the episode. We'll talk about this few things to look out for section that they have. Um, but anyways, yeah, let's talk about some bugs who did nothing wrong and are just good little girls and boys who want to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So the Tyranids, we've been slowly getting better throughout the edition. We actually, actually got a model for once that actually was pretty cool when it came out, instead of having to be completely buffed over and over and over to make it playable. But we'll talk about the Red Terror here in a minute. First and foremost, ambush predators. Ambush predators is a single detachment point that basically gives all of the Lictor variants, so Lictors, Neurolictors, and Death Leaper, Deep Strike. So when they rapid ingress or when they come on the table at all, instead of coming in from board edges or anything, they just come in outside of 8 inches. That's great for you, right, Brad? That's exactly what you like to play, what you like to happen in the Space Ring.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yep.
it's always Brad being targeted by a lictor.
Yeah, I love the lictors coming out of nowhere in Space Marine 2 and just harassing me.
I feel like I have an obligation to play this attachment just to completely tilt Brad.
Is this 1 DP? Did you say
Yes,
that
it
already?
is. Yep.
Ooh.
Now, also all lictors and neurolictors, but not Death Leaper for some reason, can reroll ones to hit when targeting a unit that has a character in it. And pretty much all the lictor variants have precision on their weapons. So, they can definitely cut out character real easy.
In this edition, that's super good.
Yep, it could be. Now I did notice here we have Encircling Horrors, which is an upgrade. It's kind of cool because it allows a Neurolictor, a Von Ryan's Leaper, or a regular Lictor to make a D3 plus 3 a reaction move after you get within 8 inches of it, which could be very, very cagey. This one right here for Von Ryan's Leapers is not really a big deal. To be completely honest, guys, they need to do some serious work on Von Ryan Leapers for anyone to actually bring them. I don't think I've ever heard a single Tyranid player say anything positive about Von Ryan's Leapers other than they look cool, because they do. Um, they're baby lictors and they're just bad. I mean, they're more expensive and they do less work than a normal lictor does by itself usually. They have stealth instead of lone op, which means they die pretty easily. In small point games, they're pretty good, but in real quote unquote games, they're just terrible. Um, I will say that counter predation looks like it's going to be pretty powerful. Um, Whenever you target a hidden unit, you get +1 strength and +1 AP. The AP being the super big thing there, because Tyranids have a big problem with getting anything beyond AP2. We have lots of AP1 and AP2 weapons, but no, we have very little in the ways for AP3. Um, so yeah, I mean that's basically my thought on that detachment. This one, Talons of the Norn Queen, looks very interesting. Unfortunately, well, it is only a one DP detachment, but one concern I have about it is that it could be in our play group. It could be a fairly annoying detachment for players to play against, because this basically makes the Norn big giant monsters, who happen to be like my favorite models right now, just because of how cool they are, and I love big monsters. But I only own one of these, so I basically was spending the point just for her. But Brad, you know how I get to pick a special ability at the very beginning of the game for my Norns? They either get a feel no pain on an objective, or they get reroll hit and wound against a target.
Yeah.
Well, once per game, I can change that ability. I can select a new target, or I can select a new objective to get the feel no pain, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was reading. I saw that here, and I would say, I know you said you don't like bringing the Norn too much, but I'd say still start bringing it.
No, I love the Norn. I love bringing it. It's just in our play group, it's difficult to deal with.
Oh yeah, but who cares?
I mean, I was going to say, oh, go ahead.
No. You were talking first. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that I feel like any match against a Tyranid is an annoying match. I'm sure that the Norn is considered one of the bigger difficulties with the group, but I mean, they are bugs, so pretty much everything that they do is annoying.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you want to, I think this thing's very good, and you have been having troubles recently with our games and trying to spice up the game a little bit with you just not bringing the same detachment over and over again. So, bring this. Don't get that upgrade though. You're not allowed to get that upgrade.
Yeah. So
you gotta do whatever else you want.
Small side tangent. What I've been trying to do lately is I've been trying to bring more smaller creatures. So I've been buying, because I have tons of monsters, but I don't, other than termagants, I really don't have a lot of the little bugs. I've been trying to buy more warriors, buy more hormigons. I want to get my gargoyles painted up eventually, because they're still black from when I primed them years and years and years ago and had never touched them again. But one thing you may notice about this attachment is that it's really not for the Norn Emissary, which I think is the cooler of the two models aesthetically. So you have the Norn Emissary and the Norn Assimilator. The Norn Emissary is kind of like the psychic Norn. She's the big one who is more of a commander psychic kind of version of it, and then the Assimilator is more like the assassin character. And in the, if I remember the fiction, the Assimilators are sent to kill specific targets. You'll notice here that basically all of these abilities basically turn a Norn Assimilator into a Norn Emissary with better melee. So, for example, destabilizing predation gives the Norn Emissary 2+. That's pretty much the only thing you're going to see that the Norn Emissary really gets out of this. But that's only anti character, and it's only against range attacks. But yeah, anti character 2 up was pretty nasty for her range attacks. But one of the biggest problems that Norn Assimilators had is they have no invulnerable save. And this right here, I think you staple onto any Norn Assimilator. If you're going to buy a Norn Assimilator, you're going to buy this, which has me concerned this thing's going to be like 30, 40 points. because it gives them the
Yeah.
invuln. And then in the stratagems, the feel no pain against mortal wounds. That's something that
Ooh.
the Norn oh god, I almost said Norn Queen.
Emissary?
The emissary, yeah, the emissary's already got this. So again, you're using this
Oh.
stratagem to give it to the Norn assimilator. And then this one's nice, +2 strength. The Norns are like strength 10 default because of their synapses themselves. I don't know if the Norn assimilator is synapse. I'd hope she is, but she might not be. But that brings them to the strength 12 benchmark, which makes them a vehicle killer now.
But yeah, basically las cannons.
Mm-hmm. And then normal simulator gets another thing where they can basically tether. Again, this probably isn't all that useful. You give the target -2 to move.
That I mean, that could be a big deal depending on what you target with
It's
that.
it's it's definitely something that is going to be useful in very specific situations, but it could be clutch depending on the situation.
Yeah, like a unit of Terminators.
Yep.
Oh, you're moving super slow now.
Um, Warrior Bioform Onslaught. This one I actually was a big fan of for a long time. I wanted to get a bunch of warriors to bring this because I've always liked playing high quality units. Well, I don't say always. I used to play massive hordes of Termagants and Hormagaunts where I had like 200 models on the table back in older editions. But the last several years of my life, I've kind of moved more towards heavy infantry and monsters. And my idea would have been to do this plus a lot of monsters. It's still doable, but one thing that I noticed, and maybe I'm misremembering, but one thing that kind of annoyed me with this is that, well, let me talk about the good first. So first of all, friendly Tyranid warriors, both versions of them, and they gain the Tyranid warrior keyword, and they gain battle line, which means you can bring 6 squads of them. Another nice thing about this is they added the Lash Whip Prime in here. For the little while, the Lash Whip Prime didn't benefit from this at all, the 5 of Binvoln. And I honestly think that every character in the game should have at least a 6 of Binvoln. I don't understand why the Winged Prime and the Lash Whip Prime don't actually have a 5 of Binvoln natively. But GW doesn't like giving Tyranids a lot of Invulns natively. But one thing that I notice is a difference here is it's now models, not the unit. And I could be wrong about this, but when this first came out, the Tyranid Prime with Lash Whip or the Winged Tyranid Prime could attach to either Hormagaunts or Gargoyles, and they would give the whole unit that 5 up in Bolton. So either I'm misremembering or this was a pretty big hit. But for one detachment point detachment, I think it's pretty fair. One thing that I kind of had a bit of an epiphany about is that the detachment point size is not about its power for the most part. It's about how much of the army that it affects. So 1-point detachments basically affect a very specific amount of units. 2-point detachments are supposed to be more like covering like a good majority of the units. And then the 3.1 is supposed to be like the big generalists that hit the entire army properly. I don't know if
Yeah,
that applies for everything, but that's kind of how I look at it.
that's what I saw. I mean, aspect host
Mm-hmm.
for I think aspect host. Let me double check again real fast. Sorry, don't mean to.
Oh, you're fine. While you're looking that
Aspect
up,
host was three DP,
yep.
but it
So,
kind of sucks because it doesn't actually affect the entire army. It only affects aspect warriors, so it should be 2. But that's just me.
yeah. And who knows? There may be a combination of power level and effectiveness in there. I will say that all the enhancements for this detachment, if you are wanting to bring Lash Whip Primes or Winged Tyranid Primes, these enhancements are phenomenal. Giving you reroll wounds, basically twin linked, and +1 AP, AP3 weapons on these primes is amazing. And ocular adaptation is basically an auto include right now. What I like doing is I like taking 10 Hormagaunts and a Lash Whip Prime. And I'm basically going to stable ocular adaptation onto that Lash Whip Prime if I take this attachment.
Oh, that's
Because,
gross.
yeah, giving the entire unit 3s to hit instead of 4s to hit is really nasty. And remember, there are threes to hit with sustained hits one.
Yeah, and then that's very good.
Yep. And then we
Uh,
get. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just say like from what I can tell. So this is a heavily melee group.
Right now, aside from a few specific models in the Tyranid Codex, you pretty much have to play Tyranids melee. We tried to make them ranged in the past. It just doesn't work really well. There are a few really, really strong range units like Exocrines and Tyrannofexes. Really, the Maliceptor is pretty good in range too, but you have to. It's weird that Tyranids is not a melee or ranged army right now. We are an objective oriented army. We hold
Okay.
the table and you slowly kill us. And we just hope that before you kill us, we scored our points.
Okay, that's fair. I because I noticed like the Tyranid Prime with the Lash Whip has Alpha Warrior and Aggressive Leader Beast. One giving the model's unit Thane hits one, as well as during the opponent's shooting phase, when an enemy unit has shot, if a model in this unit was destroyed by the attack, that you can make a surge move of
Mm-hmm.
6 inches.
Yep.
D6, sorry.
Yeah, and you will notice that the last few releases have tried to fill in some of those problems. So I honestly feel that right now, probably point for point, the Lashwood Prime may be one of our best models in the game for Tyranids. The Red Terror is up there really high too. Obviously, the Exocrine and Tyrannofex are going to be MVPs, and the Biovore is the king of kings when it comes to being useful. But I really think that like with the Red Terror and with the Lashwood Prime, GW is trying to shift Tyranids into something that we're supposed to be, which is a formidable, terrifying force that's coming to devour everything. Not let's hold on to points and let you kill us slowly. And this is a really good stratagem. Basically, -1 to wound if the target's over your strength. People love to kill warriors with high strength weapons. Um, I will unfortunately have to concede that warrior units probably aren't all that great still. Um, for the simple fact that um, they have a 4-up save. Their 3 wounds is a 4-up save with toughness 5. Their 4-up save really hurts them. A 4-up, 5-up definitely makes them better, but just that 4-up kills them. They used to have a 3-up save in previous editions. I'd love to see them return to that. It used to be that Shrikes, which are basically winged Tyranids, winged warriors, um, had a 4-up save, and they gave the 3-up save to the normal ones. But maybe in the new codex. And we get
Yeah.
our sticky objective, which is always good for a more elite army. And then Norse cover is completely useless because it only affects Tyranid warriors, and ranged Tyranid warriors are probably one of the worst units in our codex right now. So, which makes me really sad because I love the idea of getting in there with like some shooting attacks and then running in and meleeing. There's some ways you can do it, but it's just you're just chasing after bad.
Hey, Space Marine 2 taught me those snipers are pretty good.
Yep, they can be if only they actually worked like that in the game. um, Subterranean Assault, probably our best attachment in the entire game for Tyranids. It gives reroll ones to pretty much everything in the army. And then our
Anything
Molochs
new
and
here?
what's that?
Sorry, keep it going.
Uh, it allows us to put these tokens on the table where we burrow up for. It's very Tyranid themed. It's a really spicy, really cool detachment that really feels Tyranids. It is a 3-point detachment, so there is that. I won't give you a play-by-play on this one, but just know that it basically allows Tyranids to burrow up, and then other things burrow up along with it. It's a really, really nasty detachment if people want to be mean with it.
Now,
They're in the
uh,
walls.
if I may say something real fast before we get to units,
Yeah.
and we can stick on with the detachments here. Um, I'm assuming you have your force dispositions up. have any of these combination of different detachments have like their dispositions? Have any of them caught your eye? Like something that you
So
would want to try to play with?
there is something that has caught my eye, and it kind of reveals GW's hand a little bit on what they see the Tyranids as when it comes to a force as a whole. We have 3 disruption forces out of these are all of our detachments across the board. 3 disruptions, 4 taken holds. Okay, again, like I told you, priority assets. We have 1 detachment that does it. Okay, and that's Assimilation Swarm. Then we have 1 reconnaissance, which is Vanguard Onslaught. I'm really surprised the Ambush Predator wasn't, but it's Disruption, which kind of makes sense, I guess, if you think about it. Did you happen to notice a disposition force that I didn't mention?
No.
Kill everything. Purge.
The Purge the Foe, yes,
We
yes.
have 1 forces positioned. The epic horrors from the rest of the universe who have come to devour everything, who are known for destroying entire planets like they're nothing. We have 1 detachment that has purged the foe. 1. And it's Crusher Stampede. Probably one of our worst attachments.
I am baffled that Assimilation Swarm does not have Purge the Foe.
Assimilation Swarm is priority assets. Now, to be fair, the theme of Assimilation Swarm is I'm eating, leave me alone. You keep hitting me, I keep healing up. I'm eating, leave me alone. Okay? Take and hold kind of makes sense because, see, in a way, Tyranids do kind of play in the lore a little bit like Nurgle. We slowly infest the entire planet. But unlike Zerg from StarCraft, our goal isn't to infest the planet and keep it. Our goal is to consume it. So this whole idea that we're going to be holding all this, it doesn't really, I don't know. I just have concerns about any time I look at a group of force dispositions and I happen to notice that we have 2 dispositions, reconnaissance and purchase foe, where we only have 1 option for that. It looks like they're really going to want us to play take and hold and disruption. Oh, I'm sorry. Is priority assets 1 only 2? Yeah. So disruption we have 3. Take and hold we have 4. Reconnaissance, priority assets, and purge the foe we have 1 for. And that makes me concerned. Whenever there is a very limited accessibility towards a specific disposition, and again, I'm not gonna, burn the place down, the end is nigh or anything like that. I'm just saying it's potentially a concern.
Well, you could always switch to Gene Stealer Cult, and you get 2 Purge the Foes there.
Don't upset me right now, okay? All I want in life is a detachment for the Tyranids that lets me bring some Gene Stealer cultists. Okay? I don't want to play Gene Stealer cults. I want some Gene Stealer cults in my Tyranid army. I want to bring some buggies. I want to bring some cultists. I want them to be heavy worshippers of the four-armed emperor. I would love it, but no. Apparently, I can have nice things.
They do it the other way.
Yeah, they do it the other way, and apparently the Imperium can bring every Imperial citizen from Terra to the freaking, Ultramar. They can bring everything. Again, really small side tangent. So much of the allies in the Imperium I could justify allowing other factions to take. Give you an example. I think that the Assassinorum, the assassins, should be able to be taken by any army in the game. Because, it doesn't make any sense for that assassin to fight along Tyranids. He's not fighting along Tyranids. He's infiltrating a section of the battlefield to kill his target. His target happens to be one of your characters. He's not working with the Tyranids. He's not helping them. He's using them as a distraction while he completes his mission. Anyway, let's talk about something positive. My buddy, the Red Terror. This guy, I love this guy. I can't wait to play him. I am super excited. I looked at the rules at first, and I was like, meh, meh, meh. 130 points, but then I started really thinking about it. Like all Tyranid characters, for some reason he has no invulnerable save, but he does have 9 wounds, a toughness 8, 10-inch move. It is a enormously large model, though. He's on, I think, the same size of a base as a Norn. But he does have a lot of movement. So one of the cool things is that he is able to move through terrain features. So he just ignores terrain in general. So he's a monster that I actually can walk through ruins or walk through solid stuff. But he can't stay inside of them, of course. And he can also get on top of terrain that other units couldn't get on top of, as long as he has enough to not overhang it. And another thing is his Gaping Maul. It's only 1 attack, but it's extra attacks, devastating wounds, and precision. So what's going to happen is he's going to swing at that. He's going to hit you on 2. He's going to probably wound you on 3s for most characters, and that wound goes off. It's
Hole.
Yep. He'll swallow whole here. And I could have sworn that there was more to it than that, but oh yes, devastating wounds. Okay,
It's
yeah.
devastating wounds. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was about to say.
So if that goes off, I couldn't remember. Yes, I'm so sorry. This is what I was looking at. Okay, this is part of it. I knew it. I knew this worked some way. Each time an attack with this model, Gaping Maul targets an infantry, mounted, or beast unit, each successful unmodified wound is automatically a critical wound. So if he runs up, if he charges a squad of guardians, right, and that guardian squad has a Farseer in it, and the Gaping Maul attacks the Farseer, hit on 2s. I'm wounding on 3. If I wound you, it's an automatic critical wound, which means it automatically causes D3 plus 2 devastating wounds. And if I end up killing her, I end up eating her, and I gain D3 plus 2 wounds back. Now, am I going to be able to heal much? Probably not. He's probably going to die.
It's a third of your wound pool, though.
Yeah,
At the very least.
You're not wrong. I can't imagine people allowing this guy to live very long.
Oh no. I mean, but then that it's either choosing between taking this guy down, who's going to be a tough cookie if you just let him go, or having to deal with whatever other swarms that you have moving around trying to get objectives.
So the issue with this, sorry.
No, go ahead. I want to hear what you have to say.
The issue with this guy that makes him interesting to play, it makes him hard to kill, is his ability to deep strike. And if you put him in subterranean assault, he just brought a bunch of his buddies with him as well at the same time.
I think he also works, in general, I think he works with a lot of different units. He is a burrower, which is, I think, is what your point is. That makes him really, really powerful. One thing to keep in mind is this is an actual formidable melee attack. Of course, it's only AP2, but strength 7, 12 attacks, hitting on 2s, wounding most things on 3s or 2s for the targets he wants to target. At AP2, which means you're saving on, for most units, you're saving on 4s or 5s. 2 damage is a great breakpoint for damage because it kills Marines instantly. But I think the biggest thing that people don't understand, or I think a lot of competitive players understand, but I don't think the average, casual players understand, is Subterranean Hunter. This is at the end of the fight phase. Not my fight phase, the fight phase. So he comes out. He rapid ingresses, or he comes out and I bring him out from reserves, and then I charge your Farseer, kill the Farseer, kill a few Guardians, and wipe out the
You know,
squad. Okay, which you could in theory do with 12 attacks with this profile,
he's
right?
just gonna kill a few. You said a few.
Yeah.
Only a few guardians.
Um, and then at the end of the fight phase, he just goes right back into reserves.
That's
Yeah,
fun.
he's definitely a hit and run.
Yeah. And
Uh,
He's a hit it and quit it type of guy.
if he's in melee with you, you're going during your turn. If that combat ends up taking him out of combat, he just goes right back into strategic reserves at the end of your fight phase, and then I bring him back in with deep strike again, or not deep strike, but from reserves. So this guy's going to be jumping all around the place. He's going to provide a lot of maneuverability to the Tyranids as a whole.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
It it does make sense that he's basically the named Ravener.
yeah,
Now, GW, I love the red terror. Doom of Malantai. I want my named Zoanthrope to destroy the entire craft world. Okay? That's the
Or
legend, of
wait,
course.
are zoanthropes the big brain bugs or neurothropes?
Neurothropes are the brain bugs who are like the sergeants of the Zoanthrope. So when I take a Zoanthrope squad, it comes with 2 Zoanthropes and 1 Neurothrope. The only thing a Neurothrope
Okay.
does is if you're close enough to it and you get battle shocked, he heals the squad, which never happens. Because why is a Zoanthrope squad that close to you to begin with? It should never be that close to you to begin with. So this is the
Okay.
Red Terror. And then the Lash Whip Prime. Basically, this is everyone's favorite model right now for Tyranids because he is nasty, nasty, nasty.
Some do.
Um, Lots of attacks. Gives the squad a surge move, like Skull said earlier. Gives the squad sustained hits. No special addendums there. It doesn't have to be swarms and infantry. Just sustained hits. And then some really nasty attacks. But do you notice? You notice what I said about AP though? GW's
AP -2 across the board.
yeah. GW's allergic to giving Tyranids AP3 weaponry.
I mean, I don't even think. I think I have one unit that's not. I have 2 units in my army that have. Ooh, I might be lying.
Yeah, there you go. See, he starts backtracking.
Hold up. I'm gonna keep on
Um,
doing. I'm gonna do some research and I'll come
you
back to you.
you come back to it. So I love the Lash Whip Prime. Not only is it a beautiful model, I really wish that it wasn't a mono pose. Even though I love the pose, I think the pose is really good. But the reason why I wish it wasn't mono pose is because I could see this actually being a character that you want multiple in your army of. It fulfills something that I've always wanted in Tyranids, which are characters to lead Termagants and Hormagaunts. Now that we have a Lash Whip Prime, I would love to see another Prime come out that has range weaponry that can lead a Termagant squad. We've got one that can lead Gargoyles. We got one that can lead Hormagaunts. I would love to see one that's kind of built to lead Termagants. I know the Lash Whip Prime can lead Termagants, but it's kind of silly to do so. Really, I honestly like Hormagaunts so much more better than Termagants. I just have like 300 Termagants.
Now that's gonna make a new unit called a Hormagaunt Prime.
Um, well, that's the thing is that one of the downsides of playing Tyranids is you don't get some of the mechanics that other factions do. We don't have any transports. We technically have one transport, and that's the Harridan. And she's an enormous Forge World model. It's like $600, and all she could transport is gargoyles. And we've got our Tyrannocyte, which or a Sporocyst or a Sporocyte, I think is what it's called. I can't remember. It's the drop pod, and basically it can't even hold anything really useful in it. So we don't get a lot of transports until this edition. We didn't get tank shock until this edition. We didn't get grenades. I'm hoping for grenades still. So we missed out on a lot of stuff. For the longest time we didn't have a lot of characters or lead units too. In this edition, GW has definitely been paying attention to that. So I really hope they continue to pay attention to that. And I would also love to see a new Swarm Lord model. I don't necessarily feel the High Tyrant model needs a new replacement, although I would love it. But the Swarm Lord definitely needs a new model.
I think giving him an update would be pretty flippant. Like
Yeah.
giving him a modern 40K update would be very cool.
I'd love to see his data slate updated to something on par with a Primarch. At that level, because I mean this is a creature who has thrown down with the best, come out on top, sometimes come out, not come out at all, killed. But I mean, the Swarm Lord went toe to toe with Calgar and his elite Terminator squad. So I really do think that he should be Primarch level. Give him a points increase, of course. Anyway, Raveners. Well, you haven't seen any of these on the table yet, but they're basically the non-named version of the hyperdaptive Raveners.
I've seen these guys.
I haven't played. I haven't put them on the table yet. You've seen the hyper-adapted
yes,
Raveners. These are the.
Oh,
yeah.
I've seen the kill team ones.
Yep, these are the normal. These are normal ones.
Normal guys.
Yep.
I understand. Oh,
decent attacks. Twin linked strength 5 with weapon skill 3. They're definitely not bad at all. For 5 models, it's not bad at all. Now the one that you've seen are these guys.
Whoa, these guys are like.
Yeah.
Well, they're not painted, but
yeah, I paint.
Are they?
These are painted, yes, but this is not how I paint my squad, obviously. But a lot of people don't know about this, but almost their entire melee profile has anti-tank or anti-vehicle and anti-monster. So they're actually pretty good at killing vehicles and monsters.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah. And then obviously you get this. This is another thing that kind of annoys me about the Tyranid Codex is that our invasion swarm is such a good detachment, but we have so many of our units that give sustain hits 1. Now with the new detachment point system, I'm probably going to be able to swing away from invasion fleet, but we'll see what happens. And then they did change the way the free rapid ingress works. It's just -1 CP. I think they were just trying to make it work because it's heroic intervention too. So you could do the 2-point heroic intervention for 1 CP.
That is very good.
Yep. Again, GW seems to realize, hey, we actually want the Tyranids to be a threat on the table, not just holding objectives. And obviously you can see our defensive profiles are kind of laughable. I think mainly for Tyranids, what's supposed to protect us is supposed to be our toughness and our wound characteristic, not our saves, whether they be invulnerable or normal.
They're only supposed to live long enough to take down a vehicle.
Yeah.
That's all they're there for.
I will eventually have a Harridan. One day I will have a Harridan. They're like 600 points.
Going through your legends as well.
Just quickly.
Okay. Yeah, one day we'll have a Harridan. One day.
I mean, look at this right
I don't
here.
think this is a Legends. It's not marked Legends.
You can tell it's Legends because of this right here. Because it's a little background picture. It doesn't have look at the hyperdaptive Raveners, how you get the actual models here.
Yeah, but if your Legends is showing up below your FAQ.
Yeah. I'm just saying that the Harridan is not technically Legends, I don't believe, but it's effectively Legends. Keep in mind, like I said, the Harridan is like a 600-point model. You never actually see them taken. And see, this is our only real transport in the entire game. You can hold 20 gargoyles and 1 winged Tyranid Prime. The Hierophant is another thing I want one day. When we were playing Space Marine 2, the big walker with the big giant cannons, that's this.
Oh. No thanks.
30 wounds.
I don't like how many wounds it has.
And look, they actually can spell invulnerable save on this profile. I mean, it's a cool model. One day I'll have one. As far as this, there's a few small things in here that I noticed are new. Shadows in the Warp is keeping its buffed version, which I think is useful. I would love to see them actually change Shadows in the Warp. If Battle Shock actually continues to work the way way it looks like it's going to work in this edition. And assuming it's useful in this edition, because we've got to play some games to figure that out, I wouldn't have a problem with Battle Shock being kind of the Tyranid thing. But instead of like having a turn where I get to Battle Shock your entire table, I would be like, let me Battle Shock up to the detachment point limit, or like D3 models every turn. Like at the end of every round, not turn, at the end of once per round, at either of our command phases, I can roll a D3 and I battle shock that many units, and you test for them and everything, because this whole thing that like Shadows in the Warp is only really affecting you at that one moment. No, the Shadows in the Warp affects you for the entire battlefield. At least it's supposed to. It used to be that just being near Tyranids lowered your leadership, and then your psychers blew their heads off because they would perils on any double, not just double sixes. But anyway, sorry. Let me see. There's a few small changes in here. They changed a lot of things. They modernized it to the surge move. They changed the distances for some of the stuff to the 8 inches that's normally required for the spore mine abilities. So unfortunately for everyone, the spore mines are still going to still be a thing. I kind of think it's a crutch that we lean on as this faction. I would love to see it removed and then something made up for it. Because I think if you take the Biovore out of Tyranid Codex, the Codex struggles a lot more. I thought there was something. Oh, this is the big change they made to the Psychophage, where they changed it from like a buffing character to a more of a support character, where she shoots things and gives you +1 AP. Like I think they acknowledge that Tyranids they struggle in AP in melee, so she can shoot things and give them 1. They did modernize the Swarm Lord's Malign and Presence ability. I never bring the Swarm Lord really anymore, but now it's once per turn, not once per round. And I feel a little bit of vindication on this because I had mentioned that I thought people were overreacting on the hover ability. They were saying, well, GW is so dumb, they didn't actually include any rules on how my aircraft's supposed to hover. Because you're not supposed to. Like, they didn't change your movement either until this FAQ. So I don't know if you checked this in your FAQ, Brad, but I would imagine all your aircraft lost hover if they had it.
No, none of my aircraft have hover because they're wicked fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't expect any of yours to actually have it either.
I would be shocked if any of them have hover.
I don't think any of these are really all. Oh, this is interesting. I think this is an old FAQ, but it's something that I think people should be cognizant of. Is when I Shadows in the Warp, you can't use Insane Bravery on it. So that's interesting. And I remember I said that when we were talking about it, Insane Bravery, is that it said during the command phase of the Battle Shock step. So I thought you couldn't use it. Going down into the Legends just real fast. This is my Damacheron. I absolutely love this model. It was like $180 Forge World model. And not only did they legend it, she's also not all that good. Basically, she's just a souped up melee high tyrant, basically. Doesn't really do anything else. I mean, there's strength 9, so read that as 10 because she'll always be in synapse. AP2 again, the AP2 again. Damage 3. Again, it seems to be our benchmark is be 3 damage for our big monsters. Trying to get rid of that. Okay. And 10 attacks, which is not bad. And if she kills one or more models, she gets D3 moons back, which is pretty strong.
It gets weaker.
Yep. So the thing is, she used to have a tongue attack because coming out of her chest, she has like this tentacle thing that like grabs onto characters and eats them. But they kind of just got rid of it and just, her big thing is she's supposed to absorb high priority target so that the hive mind can learn from it. Oops.
Oh, flavor. What is that?
Yep. Sky Slasher Swarms, you guys have probably, well, Skull might have seen some of these. I used to have some, but I don't anymore. They're
Yeah.
basically rippers with wings.
Mhm.
So the little tiny ripper guys with wings. And then my Malanthrope, she's still playable. Um, this would actually be pretty good if the Venom Thropes didn't suck in melee, but giving them sustained hits, lance or lethal hits. Maybe one day I'll actually try to bring her and bring a bunch of Venom Thropes and see what they can do. But Venom Thropes just aren't meant to be in melee. They're there to support the army.
They're there to be annoying.
Yep. And they got the Barbed Hyrule. This is the ranged version of my Hyrule that I have. And I have the Scythe Hyrule right here. And she's got the big bioacid spray, which is kind of meh. You know, it's only 1 damage. It's 3d6 attacks, but it's only 1 damage. So, again, this is like a knight level model for me. Notice the lack of invuln save. So,
I heard that you don't get invuln saves.
yeah, not very much. They're
Or armor
they're slowly giving it
penetration
to
too.
basically if you the only stuff in Tyranids that really gets invuln saves are either psychic things or things that are supposed to be moving preternaturally fast, like lictors and stuff like that. Everything else pretty much doesn't get an invuln save. Anyways, I love my Tyranids. I really hope they continue to work on them. I do think that they're doing some good work on them. But I will stop whining long enough for Skull to tell us a little bit about his foray into maybe one day starting up a new Space Wolves army.
All right. So again, remind people I haven't played since like 5th, 6th edition. So I'm gonna give my RIPS right now to Canis Wolfborn, Cyber Wolves, Harold Deathwolf, Hounds of Mordecai, Crom Dragon Gaze, the Storm Rider, Lucas the Trickster, and the Thunderwolf mounts. They are all in Legends, but uh, if we're playing tournament play, which obviously I'm not, they're not available. So let me. Okay.
I will say that
So
some tournaments allow legends.
yeah, well, yeah, yeah. I guess. It's just if it's enough that they're gonna put it in Legends, that means that
It's out the
one
door.
day they're just gonna
Yeah.
remove them anyways. Uh,
And I don't know if you guys have noticed this, and Brad, I would appreciate your thought on this. Um, from a mechanical perspective, doesn't it kind of feel like the Legends models don't get any spice to them either?
Well, what do you mean? Like the rules?
Yeah, the rules, like you would think if it's a Legends model, okay, it's a Legends model. Let's make it spicy then. No, it's pretty boring. It's pretty bland.
I would say most of the legends are pretty on par to what we normally get,
Okay.
unless I'm wrong. I
Okay.
didn't really
well,
look too much.
and I think that's the problem is that they're what we're normally getting now compared to the flavor of their abilities that they had before.
Yeah, I look at my Diamond Charon to be as an example, and she used to be a super fast, super big monster that mainly survived through getting from melee to melee and using her tongue attacks to get extra stuff. So, you know, maybe I'm wrong. You know, in the old version of her, whenever she killed a model with one of her tongue attacks because she had multiples, she'd get a permanent feel no pain for us that they aren't the rest of the game. And that could just count for more flavorful than just if I kill a model at all with any of my attacks, I get wounds back.
But I would say as an example, Lucas the Trickster, his Legends model definitely sticks to the flavor of his character. He still gets a version of Last Laugh,
Mm-hmm.
which for Brad, that's a situation if he dies in melee combat, he basically self destructs himself. He rolls a d6 on a 4 up. The attacking unit suffers d6 mortal wounds, and battle shock.
Oh,
Which sounds pretty
interesting.
good.
Yeah.
It does
Uh,
sound pretty good.
yeah, it's one of those unit setups before that you rammed it straight into a large group or one big unit and just let let your do what you can in combat, but let them kill them off so that you can hopefully take them out with you. All
Yeah,
right.
even if it's not something you want him to die, it gives you a little something extra for when he does die.
Okay, so in this faction pack, they have it had showed 4 detachments. Two, as far as the names are concerned, 2 from the previous, and 2 new detachments. With Champions of Fenris, they still have, or at least it's still called the Great Wolf Watches. Um, it's still a countercharge detachment. So once per round for each unit, you can use the heroic intervention, even if you've already used that stratagem during the same phase. Doesn't stop you from using heroic intervention on other units, and gives Space Wolves a very reactive, aggressive defense if your opponent gets too close.
Yeah, I did
Sorry.
notice. I did notice that being able to use the heroic intervention strategy multiple times is really really powerful.
Yeah. I mean, the main theme on just this group is uh being great. Better, in my opinion, is a very counter punchy version of the Space Wolves. Um, about everything that they have, so they end up with. I noticed this, and I didn't notice it on your guys'. Obviously, I know Astartes has so many groups, Adeptus
Hmm.
Astartes, that it states that it can only include Space Wolf units and not from other chapters,
Yeah, it's
even
basically
even for the detachment rules.
yeah, it's basically stopping you from putting Dark Angels in your Space Wolves.
Yeah. The enhancement, a giant amongst giants, gives the models, the infantry models, only +1 wound and +1 strength,
Hmm.
while Prey Slayer lets the unit reroll advance and countercharge rolls.
Yeah, the advance and countercharge rules could be really good. The giant amongst giants. So it says infantry
Oh, I said
model.
+2 wounds.
Yeah.
Sorry, I put +1.
So this kind of almost makes me feel like not like a lone wolf, but like a champion. You know, a champion model, which is kind of cool.
Almost like it's called Champions of Fenris.
Yeah,
Ah, he got you there.
he
He
did.
got you there.
The with the stratagems we have wolf totems, which is used when one of your infantry characters suffers a mortal wound, giving that unit a +5 feel no pain against the mortal wounds.
Yep. And I mean, that's not you're not going to see a lot of use from that on every single game, but I mean, if like for example, if my Red Terror ran up to a squad of Grey Hunters with a character in the unit, and he decided to attack him with that gaping maul, and then suddenly I'm doing 5 or 6 devastating wounds to you, you could definitely grab that feel no pain to stop it,
Yeah.
or to attempt to stop it.
Of course, runes of claiming is the objective controlling into objective securing,
Yep.
and stock between worlds giving the unit stealth, which from seeing a lot of other things doesn't really do much.
Yeah, you may have a few uses for that here and there, but -1 to hit is going to be very, very, very situational.
I think it's pretty good because it changes my army from hitting on 3s to 4s. Pretty, meaningful. That's pretty meaningful in my opinion.
Well, I didn't check the duration either. Is it
Your opponent's shooting phase.
your opponent shoot targets?
It's
is
only on an infantry character unit.
Yeah.
His
But it
entire
is,
character unit.
yeah. It's just during that shooting, the opponent's shooting
Yeah,
phase.
it's
This is
just during that attack, unfortunately.
does it specify during the attack?
I mean, it says your opponent's shooting phase when an enemy unit targets a friendly adapter. It would say your unit has stealth until the end of the phase if it gave them. It just gives them stealth for that specific shooting attack. I don't know if that's
Okay.
intended though, because normally when they
Uh,
get a special rule for the whole round or the rest of the phase, it'll say until the end of the phase.
Obviously,
Yeah.
it's saying the infantry character always gets it. I don't have to spend anything for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in short, Champions of Fenris, it feels like it's close combat, counterpunch detachment. This basically, I feel like it's something that you're going to want to be in the opponent's face, dare them to move, and then shove it down their wog.
And it's only one detachment point, and Space Wolves
Yeah.
do kind of want a lot of characters and stuff, so it kind of does feel, like their thing.
I'm actually going to have you. I know that it's in an order. Can you go down to the Saga of the Great Wolf? Because there's not a lot of change that's going to be for the Saga of the Great Wolf. It's kind of one of the longest ones here. For me, this is the Logan Grimnar pack. For Master of the Wolves, as you start your command phase, you can select a hunting pack, which there's 3 different options here. Encircling Jaws lets you re-roll advance and charge rolls. Hunter's Eye gives models making range attacks +1 to hit, and Ferocious Strike gives units when selected to fight either lethal hits or sustained hits. So you can you're either turning critical hits into automatic wounds or turning critical hits into extra hits.
Yep.
And as long as and normally you can only take this each command phase. You can only pick one once throughout the entire battle, unless Logan Grimnar is on the field. And I think that's part of Howling Onslaught. As long as Logan Grimnar is on the field himself, then you can select a hunting pack that's already been used before.
There's a
Which
detachment for Space Marines. It's called, I think it's Gladius. I can't remember which one it's called, but it gives the Space Marine army a bunch of one use abilities like this. So it looks like that this is kind of like your version of their ability.
including the part where whatever that leader is.
Yeah, they have a leader. I think it's either Calgar or Gilliman, who allow them to do one of them again. So I mean, it's very similar. I'm not gonna say it's the same thing. Their abilities are different. Like yours are very hyper focused towards Space Wolves.
Yeah.
Advance and charge roll rerolls, +1 to hits for range attack, sustained or lethals. Yeah, these are very very specific to the Space Wolves.
Yeah, with the Howling Onslaught, I think that's what really builds the lore about placing Logan Grimnar
Mm-hmm.
into this grouping to make him the actual centerpiece, like he's actually commanding the Howl on the field itself. So I kind of liked how it fits the flavor of the group.
Yeah, my understanding is GW has been giving a lot of the different factions more detachments like this that give a specific named character some kind of extra incentive to be brought. I know that they were doing that for a lot of the Chaos Space Marine factions. So I would love to see that obviously in Tyranids. It'd be kind of cool to see a Swarm Lord focused detachment. And this is 2 battle point or detachment points. So you could tie this along with Champions of Fenris, for example, too.
Yeah, I think there's definitely, in my opinion, a better option than that, which we'll kind of pull into that detachment layer.
Hmm.
So we get 4 enhancements here. Grimnar's Mark for a Terminator Captain. Once per round, this unit can be targeted with Rapid Ingress or Heroic Intervention, which seems to be a common thing across all 3 factions that we've talked about. Even if the stratagem has already been used that phase, that use also costs 1 CP less, and it does not prevent other units from using the stratagem. Hal Maul is for Wolf Priest models. At the start of the fight phase, you pick an enemy unit within 6 inches, and that unit has to take a battle shock test at -1.
I will tell you,
Sure.
as
Oh,
the foremost expert on causing battle shocks on my opponents, be prepared for that to do nothing.
That's not true. Don't you dare say that.
I
It'll
feel like it has a 10% chance.
listen. It'll either do absolutely nothing, or Brad's entire army will be battle shocked, and he will be tilting.
And in this edition, that's terrible.
So Chariots of the Storm seems to be what we're getting this as a enhancement instead of actually getting a chariot for the Storm Rider, but it lets you redeploy up to 3 units after deployment. You can even place them into strategic reserves, regardless of how many units are already in reserves.
It's just as good as a model, right? Right?
Yeah. Skjeld's Foretelling is for the Wolfguard battle leader. Models in that unit gain Lance, giving them +1 to wound if they made a charge move.
Which is really good, by the way. Just a
Yeah,
flat +1 is really strong.
I mean, I can't imagine anything assisting in charging for Space Wolves not being good.
Mhm.
So there are 6 stratagems. The Foe Foreseen is used after your opponent selects targets in the shooting or fight phase. You choose one of your targeted units until the end of the phase. The armor penetration of incoming attacks is worsened by 1.
So this is a pretty common standard Space
Armor
Marine
of contempt.
detachment. Yeah, it's Armor of Contempt for. I'm honestly was kind of surprised that they even don't call it just Armor of Contempt. But this is bread and butter for Space Marines right here.
I mean, flavor.
Yep.
Grimnar's Command is used in your command phase. One of your units can benefit from a different hunting pack than the one currently assigned to the rest of the army.
Again,
So,
this is another command. This is another stratagem that's very popular in that stratagem. That's like this for Space Marines. So this is a really good stratagem too, because you can. Do you instead? Okay, so it's instead, unfortunately. But
yeah, it
if
doesn't
you,
stack.
yeah, if you have a scout squad out there with a bunch of sniper rifles, and you want them to shoot really good on the turn, that a lot of your stuff is charging. You could use this.
They will shoot real good.
You-
Forensian Ferocity is used in your movement or charge phase on a mounted or walker unit that is not moved or charged. Until the end of the phase, this unit can horizontally move through models and terrain features. This applies to normal, advanced, fallback, or charge moves. For normal, advance, or fallback moves, the unit can move within engagement range of enemy models but cannot end there.
So basically, he becomes a Harlequin.
Isn't it nice? Unrelenting Hunters is used in your movement phase on a unit that has not moved yet. That unit can still declare a charge in the same turn that it advanced or fell back.
Yep, that's
Uh,
really
I,
strong one if you got a Space Wolf squad that's engaged with something that you've more or less destroyed, but you don't want to waste another attack phase for it.
if fell back though, that happens. That can happen after the opponent pushes back. Or was this only during my turn?
You fall back during your turn.
Okay. Uh, all right. Eye of the Pack is used in your shooting phase on a unit that has not shot yet. Until the end of the phase, that unit gets +1 to wound with its attacks, which I think
So,
is going to be decently okay.
so Brad, look at this. Think about, because this says Adept Astartes unit. Think about some of the bigger tanks with all those guns.
Oh yeah, I'm not thinking about it too hard.
Yeah,
I
this.
haven't played against any Astartes too much, so I don't need to think about it. That
Battle.
repulsor. Wait, what's it? Revenger?
The Executioner is
No,
what I was thinking of.
Executioner.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one with the big Gatling gun.
Battle Instincts is used after an opponent's unit shoots in their shooting phase. One Space Wolves unit that was targeted can make a normal move of up to D6 inches.
Not bad. I wouldn't say it's super powerful, but not bad.
Like, I'm glad that you shot at me. Now I'm going to move closer. All right, I'll have you go back up, so that we can get into the two actual new names here. So, Legends of Saga and Song.
Okay.
Um, it's kind of the from looking at it was I know it's that states there, but Wolfguard Elites. I think this is for anyone that likes the big beefy armor guys. The
Mm-hmm.
attachment rule is loping charge, simple and direct. Terminators get +1 to charge rolls.
Do you like the big donkey lads?
I used to, which I'll get to at the end of this, but my Arjack Rockfists versus Tyranids never went well. So there's two enhancements here: Thirst for Glory and
Sorry.
go
Carry
ahead.
on. No, I was gonna say, I think something's going on with Chandler's Tyranids. I think they're taking steroids. Anyways,
It was just bad rolls on my end, good rolls on his, and
wait a second. I think I
destroyed
heard this story before.
a named Terminator without even breaking a sweat.
Did you hear about that one time the Norn emissary looked at my group of fire dragons with Union and said I coughed and all the lasers just bounced off for a chitin and nothing happened? There's something mysterious going on with these Tyranids.
So both of these enhancements are upgrades. Thirst for Glory gives Terminator models +1 objective control. Fierce Example gives Wolfguard Terminators +1 toughness.
That +1 toughness is really good, but I don't know
That
if the
is.
Thirst for Glory is very useful.
I don't think the +1 OC is anything to worry about, but like the +1 toughness, ooh,
I
that's
think
pretty good.
Terminators are toughness 5 too, default. So toughness 6 Terminators would be really nasty.
Yeah. So 3 stratagems. Fangs of the Pack is used in the fight phase when a Terminator unit is selected to fight. That unit gets precision, letting it target visible character models.
Yeah, in precision, like you said, Brad, earlier, precision looks like it's going to be a lot more useful in this edition. Especially considering where the dice are going to roll, because it's not going to be like the old one where I just, roll a handful of dice and you roll a handful of saves and we're done. Like, no, all of your saves for that have to go directly onto the character first. And that means your lowest rolls go to the character first. So definitely can see this one being useful.
I from what I understand, I agree. Because having things get spread out to what you're not trying to go after never goes well, and I'm usually gone before I can get a second chance.
Mm-hmm.
So, Chilling Howl is used in your opponent's command phase. One Wolfguard Terminator unit can target an enemy unit within 6 inches, forcing that enemy unit to take a battle shock test. If the enemy is below half strength, it takes that test at -1.
Again, might be good, might not be so good, but I mean, like for most marine enemies, you're looking at them making a test on a 7 if they get the -1. For me, this would be more useful if it gave you something for them being battle shocked.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, any kind of advantage or disadvantage for them would be nice, but it doesn't seem like it's as rewarding as much as as much as it's pushed forward into a lot of
Now,
the different groupings.
One thing I will say, the nice thing about this is that if they do fail it, especially if it's on like a critical unit that they're about to charge you with or they're about to shoot you with, if they do fail it, it prevents them from being able to get using stratagems on them. So that could be potentially strong. I just rolling a 2d6 and needing a 7 or higher is pretty much dice averages. So, you're kind of hoping for them to roll below average then.
Yeah. All right. Wings of the Blizzard is used during your opponent's fight phase. One unengaged Terminator unit can teleport off the battlefield and go into strategic reserves.
And this I think is probably one of the stronger of your not enhancements, stratagems, because basically being able to pull a Terminator squad out off the table and then bring them back in is really strong. Anytime you can do the uppy downies, as we call it, it's really powerful.
Yeah, I mean, especially anytime to reposition and to actually, in my opinion, the flavor for that is to actually explain how the Terminators actually have the teleportation system.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's clearly the thick boy detachment. Like I stated earlier, it's for the heavy armor, the elite warriors, the hard hitting veterans. And honestly, if Arjak Rockfist, the Man Mountain, the Anvil of Fenris, Grimnar's champion belongs anywhere, I think it's actually here instead of the Champions of Fenris. It's not Champions of Fenris. I already forgot what the other group was called.
Oh, the one we just looked at?
Yep.
Legends of the
Saga of the
Saga
Great
song.
Saga of the Great
Saga.
Wolf.
Yeah, Saga of the Great Wolf. Yeah.
Logan Grimnar's, because he's considered Logan's champion. Okay, so you minimized.
Oh, did I minimize? Sorry.
Yep, you're okay. So the last group here is the veterans of the Fang. So for me, the last detachment is the old grizzled veterans. The detachment rule is old gray mains. When a gray hunter unit starts an action, it does not stop that unit from being eligible to shoot. Also, during the declare battle formation step, you can split gray hunter units into 2 units, each with a starting strength of 5.
Old combat squads, and being able to be eligible to shoot is really strong. Because one of the bad things about doing an action is you usually have to forego shooting. So this right off the bat is a really strong detachment.
Yeah, this entire detachment is probably my favorite out of all the ones that were here. Um, so right away, this detachment feels. I put stuff in there. Uh, the flavor of this is that they have the battlefield experience. They're not young wolves just charging forward. They're the veterans who know how to hold ground, complete objectives, and still keep firing. There's 2 enhancements. Eye of the Hunter and Weaver of Sagas. Eye of the Hunter is for Wolfguard Battle Leader. That model's unit gains 3 boosts to its range attacks, assault, ignore, cover, and +1 armor penetration. So they can advance and shoot, strip away cover benefits, and hit harder through armor.
Now this would be a lot nastier on other units because a Wolfguard battle leader in a Grey Hunter squad usually is what they're going to be in. The AP is really nice. Can you attach a Wolfguard battle leader to Terminators or anything like that? We maybe don't know.
That's a good question. I am not sure off the top of my head.
Don't worry about it.
If he's the effectiveness of a captain, then this could be better. But yeah, I could see this having middling use. It looks cool though.
I think they're considered like slightly under a captain,
Mm-hmm.
It's probably their version of the lieutenant.
possibly.
So
So the Weaver of Sagas is for a Wolf Priest. Once per battle in your movement phase, either at the start or end of that model's move, you can remove battle shock from a friendly unit within 6 inches, or from a Grey Hunter's unit within 18 inches.
Okay.
I mean, again, for the effectiveness of Battle Shock. So 3 stratagems again. Grizzled Killers is used in the fight phase when a friendly Grey Hunter's unit is selected to fight. You can give that unit either lethal hits or sustained hits 1. So again, bringing back another ability from before. Icy Calm is used in your movement phase. When a friendly Grey Hunter's unit makes an advance or fallback move, that unit is still eligible to start an action.
And definitely very action-oriented detachment.
So does that mean, though, with the combination of the detachment rule, can the Grey Hunter unit make an advance or fallback move, be eligible to start an action, and still be eligible to shoot?
If their weapons have assault, but they have to have assault for you to advance and shoot. The big thing here is that you're able to fall back and still create an action. That's really important.
Okay.
Because if you already can start an action if you have advance on your weapons or assault on your weapons. You can already advance and still shoot, or advance and still perform an action.
So if they have a Wolf Guard battle leader, that would give them the assault.
Yep.
Okay. Battle Keen Senses is used at the start of your shooting phase. One unengaged Grey Hunter's unit selects a visible enemy unit within 24 inches and increases the detection range of that enemy unit by +6 inches.
It's such a visible enemy. That would be a hidden enemy.
I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know if they're normal. What the normal visible range would be, if it's like 18.
Oh, they're still visible, but they're still considered hidden.
Yeah, because they're outside of visibility range. So I don't know if it's with this group, if it's the ability or my age talking, but I like the way the detachment represents the experience of the Grey Hunters. Just the way that you can tell that they made it flavorful enough that you can see how they have more experience in the field, and not charging in blindly. I really like follow the lore more than I've ever wanted to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
It was always the flavor of the game, and you can, like I said multiple times here, that you can actually see what they're trying to give you the feeling of that unit or any of the units just based upon the abilities that they're giving them, and not just
Sure.
well, this character can do this and without any real reason. Yeah, that's pretty much
Okay.
everything that I have there. As far as what I got over, I like I said, I didn't really go into the legends much, other than to see some of the things that they removed, because again, some of the identities of the named captains not being there, and the only thing that was in the data sheets was the Wolf Scouts. So I didn't really follow too much into that.
Okay. Well, I mean, if nothing else, this kind of gives everyone kind of a bit of an insight to someone who really doesn't play this game anymore, but used to. And hopefully that gives everyone a little bit of a thought on how they might want to approach it. Because really, the way our play group plays is we like the theme of things. We like we actually like playing within kind of the lore of the game. Like Brad has said in the past, he's really big on bringing aspect warriors, and he's the kind of crazy person who brings one of each of the aspect hosts, and then brings their Phoenix Lord with them. And it's like, oh, I just spent like 2/3 of my points on these 6 different squads, and now I really
Time to figure out how to make this work.
yeah. And it's like, and I'm unfortunately I'm the kind of guy who just brings a bunch of monsters, goes, I like big stumpy things, and it works in our group, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, and also more people to play with would always be nice. So, but yeah, those are our thoughts on our three. I mean, if anyone thought we were going to go through every single faction pack, you're sorely mistaken. It's a good thing because
Well,
this took
no.
us 2 hours of of the podcast as it was. So,
Yeah.
But
uh,
wait, you said you were going to talk about something else at the end of this.
you know what? I think so I was looking at it, and I think we should wait to discuss that when we get the points. Because what that is a bunch of addendums on about the points. What I will say
Ye-
is that
yes.
it feels like me, and if you just take it as, oh, this model's psychic, add points. This model does battle shock stuff, add points. This thing's a melee monster, add points. Well, the Tyrannid's going to be like 3,000 points per model when they're all done. We know. I know I'm being
The
hyperbolic. I know it's not.
Farseer is gonna be in a grave.
Yeah, gonna be like, why is my Farseer the toughness 3 model 500 points now? You know?
Why is my Farseer 110 points?
Yeah. So I'm really hoping it's not going to be that bad. I still to this day don't think that GW properly assessed what battle shock actually impacts the game overall. And now that battle shock may actually be good, I'm afraid they're going to bury anything that does a lot of battle shock, aka my entire army.
They're gonna lash out.
So who knows what'll happen? It could be just an empty threat where they actually do it to all the other factions, and Tyranids don't get all the points increases. But I would be in favor of them just increasing points across the board by 15-20%, just to lower the model count for the game.
I think Games Workshop knows what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't think they actually know what's going to happen. I think they got a lot of feelings, and they tend to test things internally, which means about 10, 15 people play a few games. They don't see any problems with it. And then day one, the game comes out and Defilers break the game. That's the real reason why Brad's been thinking about playing Death Guard. He's going to bring triple Defilers to battle.
I'm gonna bring a bunch of toughness. Who cares what toughness they are, because they probably have a feel no pain stratagem. So
They used to just get feel no pain default.
I don't know what Death Guard really do. I just think they're cool.
And nothing wrong with that. That's the rule of cool, right?
Plus, I'm thinking about getting them in Horror Services, so it just makes sense.
Playing Death Guard, playing Space Wolves. I mean, you're gonna be playing all the kinds of Marines, don't you?
I'm playing Death Guard, playing Space Wolves, playing Blood Angels, I'm playing Dark Angels.
Yeah.
Just don't forget to bring your long fangs.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll make sure I bring Long Fangs.
As far as our next episode, everyone, it really does sound like we're going to be furthering our discussion of 40K, maybe talking about points. Theoretically, by then, we'll have everything we need. We'll have the starter box. But I don't think any of us are really going to have time to play a game of it because record on Tuesday.
I will be out of town.
And Brad has real life things to do, which is unfortunate and silly. He shouldn't actually do real life things. How dare him?
I should abandon my wife and kids.
Yep. Sounds about normal. I will probably have some more thoughts on it. So we're probably going to be giving our hot takes on the points, our initial reactions of what we've gotten so far, and you guys can easily disregard them because we're just a bunch of scrubs who don't actually play tournaments. So, with that said, we'd like to thank everyone for listening to episode 8 of Critical Condition, and we will see you guys next week. Goodbye.